Welcome to the Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev with you as the Oilers defeat the San Jose Sharks 5-0 on this Thursday night. I think it's Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday. The big clock says right there it's Thursday. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. A late one, and Edmonton gets it done. They get goals early, and they handle the San Jose Sharks the way you're supposed to. Not like what they did or didn't do back on November 9th. Totally redeemed themselves tonight with a win in San Jose at the Shark Tank. Of course, as always, if you're joining us, feel free to join the conversation as well. Get in on that via the Nasty Chat if you're watching on our YouTube page. Thank you as always. And if you're listening to the audio stream, whether it be via the TuneIn app or on our website, you can get at us at the inbox 780-218-9999. Share your thoughts on the Oilers' victory. What did you like? What did you maybe not like? I don't know what there wasn't to like about tonight's win, but there's probably a few people out there that didn't like all of what they saw tonight, and they want to be heard. So we're here to listen. 780-218-9999 and the Nasty Chat on our YouTube page as the Oilers win at 5-0. Just Trev and I tonight. Belzy under the weather, Cass under the weather, and Joaquin Gage, who did Game Changers on the pregame show, has another commitment on a different show with one of our dear friends that he promised he would do. So we thank Gage for hopping on the pregame show, and we're not going to bother him tonight to do the postgame because he's got another commitment. And like I said, Belzy's sick, and Cass, our main game analyst, is also not feeling great. Fighting bit of the bug. That's what happens when you have multiple children, bacteria-infested hands. It's what happens. YouTube Trev's laughing over there. All right, let's get into the recap of this Oilers victory as they improved to 16-15-1 on the season. It is 3 straight wins for your Edmonton Oilers in the first period. Pretty early on, a minute to be exact. Edmonton, right out of the gates, was the dominant team. Ryan McLeod picks up his 6th goal of the season, stays hot. He is on fuego right now after moving over to the wing. Started this game on the line with Leon Draisaitl, and it pays off. Zach Hyman and Evan Bouchard pick up the assists on McLeod's 1-0 Oil just a minute in. Then at the 10:15 mark of the first period, Zach Hyman scores his 20th goal of the season. He's on fire, on pace for a 50-goal season. Very good to see. That contract was a great signing by the Oilers and Ken Holland. Connor McDavid and Darnell Nurse with the helpers to zip Edmonton midway through the first. Evan Bouchard would add to the lead, his 9th of the season, creeping up to the 10-goal mark. Matthias Ekholm and Connor Brown, get the assists. 3-0 Oilers at 4:55. Connor Brown, ladies and gentlemen, doubling his point total on the season. That's nice to see. And before the period would be up, Leon Draisaitl would add his 15th goal of the season from Foegele and McLeod. So give McLeod another multi-point game. That's 3 in a row for him. That goal coming at 17:32 of the first in the second period. And this would be the last goal of the night. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scores his 9th goal of the season from Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse to make it 5-0 at 9:07. Just a really weird ping pong redirection. Ceci with the shot hits Nugent Hopkins, and I don't know, in the pants glove area. Hits a D-man on the way in, and then another D-man in front of the net twice. I think it went off, was it Ferraro's or someone else's? Burrows hits his glove, bounces down, hits his skate through the pads of Kaapo Kähkönen, who replaced Magnus Krona, who was making his first ever NHL start and was chased after just 20 minutes of play. Tough go for the young goaltender from Sweden. No scoring after that Nugent Hopkins goal. 5-0 is your final. Shots on goal, 30-25 in favor of the Oilers. The Sharks win the faceoff battle, 56-44%. The Oilers 0 for 1 on the power play. I think their power play only lasted 15 seconds before they got called a really bad chintzy interference tripping call on Zach Hyman. The PK goes 3 for 3. That's great. That's very good because the PK was slipping lately. Power plays on an 0 for 11 run. It was 0 for 8 in its last 3 games. Didn't score in the last 2 power play opportunities. The game prior, the New York trip, and is in an 0 for 11 run. However, I mean, they were on the power play for 15 seconds. So, doesn't get it done tonight, but the PK certainly does. Hits 15-10 in favor of San Jose. Block shots 15-12 in favor of San Jose. Giveaways 7 for the Oilers, 6 for the Sharks officially. And takeaways 11 for the Sharks, 7 for the Oilers as they take it 5-0. 780-218-9999 is the number to text us. Your thoughts on the game tonight. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Hit us up in the nasty chat. Smash that thumbs up button. Let's go to young YouTube Trev. All right, buddy. Your time to shine.
Oh, gosh.
What do you got for
Game
us?
analyst today. Yeah.
Deep. You were deep in thought. Like, this was a game where we're having a nice time. We're watching in the EST green
chill.
room in the lounge area. And,
a few JBCs.
Yeah, a couple of junior bacon cheeseburgers. Great call. Nice little snack.
Yeah,
and you're watching the third period like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to relax, man.
Yeah.
You know hockey. Talk about it.
Yeah.
What'd you see tonight, pal?
Yeah, right from the get-go. I think that was like just right from the start there. I haven't seen a start like that in a long time. They brought it. It wasn't that they just had it. They were controlling all the possession in the ozone there, but they were bringing it. It was really nice to see right from the start and all lines. One thing you asked me in our last pregame, it was, what's one thing? And I said I'd like to see like more consistent, better 5-on-5, and that's kind of what we saw a lot of tonight. All lines were really clicking. I really like the second line. The first line, though, I mean, when they're out there, albeit it was San Jose, it was the Sharks, but they've been doing this against the Rangers. They've been doing it against all opposition as of late. That first line really just looks like a power play unit when they're out there. It's super impressive to see. So that is awesome for Oilers fans. It's definitely going to excite you for sure. The second line, it's nice to see. First time in his career, 3 2-point game multi-point games for Ryan McLeod. Is that confidence? Is that just puck luck? Is it shooting? I don't know, but he's
confident. The way he's playing?
Yeah.
What we saw tonight, that's confidence for sure. Absolutely.
It's and the puck it's finding him too. It's finding him, it's following him a lot more, but he's knowing what to do with it, and I guess 100%. That is confidence for sure. Warren Foegele, it's going to be interesting because we talked about it in the pregame, like what happens when Holloway's back. Well, right now I don't think you separate the second line either, the way they're playing. But as far as I think it was top heavy, the top six was looking really good tonight. The bottom six, not a heck of a whole lot going on there. I think Kane was pretty meh. Derek Ryan, a lot of the bottom six, they didn't really offer much tonight. But then the defense, from Matthias, from Bouchard, they were really clutch. I thought Darnell Nurse was really good at denying entry from the Sharks coming in their own end. He was good with his stick all night, and that actually led to the second goal, I believe, McDavid to Hyman. That all really started from Darnell Nurse in his own end with a very effective stick that he used. So that was really nice to see. And then haven't even mentioned Stuart Skinner, just a really, really good performance.
He made some good saves.
He made some really good saves. Timely saves. It wasn't just, it was the San Jose Sharks, but I mean, it's still NHL team, still playing against, top caliber players, right? I guess that's fair. So, all in all, a pretty good game. It sucked. It's an 8:30 start. We had to wait all day for that, but it's okay. All in all, solid. Easy dub. Easy.
That rundown was solid.
Oh, thanks, man.
Look at you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, well, thanks. I don't know. Okay, well,
Why
I'm
didn't you put
blushing right
yourself
now.
on
I'm blushing.
camera for that?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to? I
Yeah.
can do that right now.
Yeah.
Feast your eyes.
The more the merrier.
Feast your eyes.
There he
One
is. Look
second
at
here.
this guy. Super
Hello.
Mario. He's all Canada'd up, celebrating.
Let's go, baby.
There you go. There you go. Tough loss for Canada at the Spangler Cup, losing to HC Davos, the hosts. Our boy Dusty Nielsen, Big Daddy Davos, calling
Pretty
that
impressive.
one. He's been busy, but he's been doing a great job on TSN. If you miss him, you can catch him on the broadcast. They'll be back up and running tomorrow. And well done, Trev. That was a nice rundown
Thanks, bro.
of the game. That was a successful 5-0 victory. You pointed out many things that I appreciated and liked. There was a text that came in, said, why didn't someone hit whoever took a run at McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Draisaitl? I didn't think the hit on Draisaitl was that bad. Was it
a clean hit.
Okuchuk?
I can't say the name.
And I think Burrows caught McDavid. I didn't think that was that bad. It was clean. McDavid got a slash in, and then Nugent-Hopkins got, I don't know. If it was like egregious, I think you go after them, but I don't think it was that bad.
No.
I think Tango texted that. Tango, good to hear from you, but not necessary tonight, I don't think.
Yeah, like, what are they? I don't know.
They got their whacks in after.
At the end of the day, they won.
Draisaitl was fine. The one on CC, that one was the one that actually looked like it could have had some
been dirty.
Some damage on it, but he was just fine, slid into the boards and caught himself. So the Sharks are pissed off. That's 7 in a row that they've lost. There is pride with them, even though they've been a bad team all season. That was their 24th regulation loss of the year. 9-24-3 are the Sharks, 16-15-1 are the Oilers. And you could frustration. They lost last night 5-1. They lose. They got outscored 10-1 in the last 2 days. So,
I mean, you look at their roster and who Curtis, well, like what he had to say at the beginning of the show, and he's like, they're getting the most out. Like they got no one, Tommy.
Yeah, Curtis Pachelka.
It's pretty well an AHL team. Just looking at and the crazy thing is, like I was looking at they've got $2 million in salary cap, which is crazy because they have they got no stars on the team. So yeah, they're kind of, this is to be expected. It's just interesting what a difference a month can make. And what is it? What was it? Was it just the Oilers they were battling themselves when the first, that's exactly what it was.
We said it on November 9th. We said it during that 2-9-1 stretch to start the year. They were in their own heads. They've snapped out of it clearly. And they're on a nice run. What are 14-6 in their last 20 games? That's 700 hockey. I think, can they maintain that? I don't know. That's going to be tough to say or tough to do. It's easy to say, we can keep doing this when 7 out of every 10. But since that, when they dropped to 2-9-1, they've just gone on a tear. And so 14-6 in the last 20. Pretty good. They've beaten great teams in the league. The New York win was a good one. I mean, it would have been nice if they closed it out 4-2 instead of 4-3, allowing that goal with under a second left. I think it was 0.1 that was left on the clock when it went in. The come-from-behind victory over New Jersey, that was good. So, yeah, this team is showing signs, and defensively they've been better. Tonight, I think they took care of business and said, no mistakes, no stupid plays. Just get Skinner the shutout. Play sound defensively. Nobody get hurt. Let's get some runs on this guy early. They chased a guy that has played 2 NHL games in his career. That was his second. He only played 20 minutes tonight. He's played 11 AHL games. And by the way, he's also, let's mix in, 2 ECHL games that he's played this year. So that was an unenviable position for Magnus Krona to come in. Mackenzie Blackwood's sick. Capo Kakkonen played last night in LA. So they start Krona. He was tested. He was beat. I thought the Draisaitl goal said it all. That was the tell where that was not a good goal. He was slow kicking out the pad. He was a little bit slower getting across. And it was like, what I said something to you when we were watching. I said, too easy.
It was too easy
for Draisaitl. And David Quinn pulls him, and I feel a little bit bad for the kid.
Yeah.
That was his first start.
You got to feel bad, but
he's got a .950 goals against average and a .724 save percentage.
That was before the game, right?
No, that's now.
That's okay. I was just looking.
That's updated.
His goals against average right now is in this game it's 12.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And it was 787 coming into the game.
Yeah.
The other game he played in was against the Penguins, where they got smacked 10-2.
Yeah. So.
And he came in relief in that game. So this one had all the markings of a relatively easy win, and the Oilers took advantage. And so we want to hear your thoughts. Hit us up, 218-9999, or in the nasty chat. Let's start with Dirty Curdy. Dirty Curdy says, hey, Tommy, checking in from Cancun. My daughter and I caught the game, and I got to say, looks like McLeod is officially a winger. Skinner looked solid. Look forward to the clash against the Kings. Dirty Curdy. Dirty Curdy, good to hear from you. Enjoy the sun. Make sure you put some sunblock on there. They can get pretty scorching down there. I love Cancun. Great time. And cool to hang out with the family down there. Great holiday trip. Yes, as for McLeod as a winger, right now it works. Right now it works. You heard Louis talking about it on the broadcast. Less responsibility, straight up and down. Allows him freedom. And I think you ride this out, but at some point, they're going to want him to be a full-time center. And he's been a center pretty much the majority of his NHL career. They put him there because he has the tools to do it. Clearly, it wasn't working coming out of training camp. You know, he missed time with the injury, and that put him behind the 8 ball, and the points weren't there, and now he's on fire after being pushed over to the wing. That's good. And there's nothing to say that he can't slide back to center when the time is right. Is that right away? Probably not. Let him play. Let him ride. Be a reliable winger. If you're going to score and create the way that you are, he forechecked tonight. Now listen, I know he was forechecking on the San Jose Sharks, but at least he did it. I think it was the Draisaitl goal started on his forecheck. That's great. It wasn't a pretty forecheck, but he got in there.
Yeah, it was.
Foegele gets the puck, makes a nice. Foegele made a nice play to Draisaitl, and again, that Magnus Krona getting across too slow. They took advantage, but it started with the forecheck. Not a great one, but it worked. Effective. But yeah, I'm with Dirty Curdy. He's a winger. I don't think he needs to be a winger. I don't think he's always going to be a winger. I think he slides back to center at some point. When that is, doesn't have to be anytime soon. Let him ride at left wing. See how this goes. Maybe they get forced into a situation where they need him to play center 20 games from now. 40 games from, I don't know, but I think the long play for him is still at center. But right now, I like what he's doing on the wing. I think everybody is. Leave him there for now, and I think that's the plan, but eventually they'll want to get him back to center. JB texts in, says, coming to a theater near you, Drailander, the immortal tale of Ryan Connor McLeod. There can only be one. JB with that one. Or is it Drylander? Yeah, instead of Highlander, right? Drailander. Idiot. That's on me. 780-218-9999. EA with a couple good ones. Well, this one that came in earlier and the one that just came in is pretty funny. EA said earlier, Brown still can't score. Yes. What did you think of Connor Brown tonight, YouTube, Trev?
It's sad. It's really sad to see.
Bad.
Yeah, you feel bad. I don't know, when we had Shagar on the Nielsen show, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, and he said, he's not scoring, but at least he's doing other things. He's doing other things, and he was. Yeah. But right now, I'm not seeing those little things. Those, they're in my opinion, I think those have kind of subsided. I think the first time I saw him, I'm like, oh, there he is. He's playing.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So it sucks. He's gripping his stick too hard. The one chance he had, he probably, it was tough because he's a righty and he's coming on the left side. So when he went to shoot the Anthony Duclair, I think with the back check, and he poked it away, right?
Yeah.
It's really not working for him right now. And then as well, he's not getting the time of day, really, being in the bottom six. Like, I know he's like more of a complimentary player. I don't think he's ever been a driver. Maybe in junior he was, but he's not going to be.
Maybe a bit in Ottawa too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like earlier in his career when he was actually like a 40-point player, right? We're not getting that at all.
No, not right. Not this year.
Yeah, and it sucks because you're really rooting for him. The Oilers could definitely need it. That's why they went and got a Connor Brown kind of player.
Exactly.
Especially on his PK. I think it was the bubble year 2020. He led the league, the entire NHL, in shorthanded goals that year. And you're not getting that from him. It doesn't even have a goal. I don't even know. I think he got one shot tonight. So I think every game, and like this really should have been a game that you would have liked to seen him like bring it, right? It's the San Jose Sharks. It's not a good team at all, but he didn't bring it, and it's kind of been hold the whole like that's been like that all season. So it sucks. Will it change? I don't know. I've kind of given up on it, but I don't know. Like I really think the way it does change is you put him in the top six, but that didn't help earlier in the season. You don't want to mess up what the first line's got going on, or the second line for right now. So yeah, he's going to be a fourth line guy, and love it or there's no reason why he should be up, because he hasn't done anything to prove otherwise. So
he got an assist tonight.
He did get an assist. He got an apple.
All right, Connor Brown. Let's start with the good here. He did pick up an assist. He was a plus player. He's +1. 13:49 time on ice. He did get a minute 17 on the PK. He did get 3 shots on goal and did have an attempt blocked, and also had 1 takeaway officially. So that was Connor Brown's night. Did some stuff. You pointed it out. I think the telltale sign of where he's at was that 2-on-1 he had where Anthony Duclair caught him and then made a nice play to slide and knock the puck off his stick. But I think that's the tell where it's like, he's not. It's not there for him. And he did have that 3 or 4 game stretch. He had a couple posts. He had the goal taken away, followed up with a post or 2. And it looked like he was starting to call him. He was contributing on the PK. He did again a bit tonight. But I think that was the tell where it's like, And they tried. They got him out there late in the game in the last minute with Draisaitl, and I think Janmark was the other winger. And you're hoping that maybe he could break that goose egg in the goal column. Didn't happen. Wasn't meant to be. What if he scores a big goal against the Kings?
Seeing like that's what I'm thinking. I honestly
not? Positive vibes.
I think vibes. We seen what it did with like Foegele earlier in the season. A goal just does so much for a player, and for Connor Brown, that would be amazing for him right now. So who knows? He really could score a goal and just, I wouldn't say pop off, but he could just start focusing. Just start. He's in his head. He's definitely in his head, right? So it's tough. But what do?
You keep grinding
Put me out there, coach.
I'm ready to go, coach. EA's second text, the funny one, says, will Skinner be sent to the AHL again? You'll recall that Stuart Skinner was sent down to the AHL after shutting out the San Jose Sharks a few seasons ago. Oily Doughboy texts in. Hello, Oily Doughboy. Says, Oily Doughboy wants an update on third jerseys next year. No third jerseys next year. They're switching to Fanatics, and every team goes back to 2 jerseys.
That's boring, no?
It is very boring. It sucks.
Why is that?
That's what they did when they switched over to Reebok. That's what they did when they switched over to Adidas.
I forgot that they're switching over.
Yeah I don't know if it's like a run-up on sales. Like, there's some strategy behind it. I can't remember what it is. You'd have to ask a guy like Dan Cote-Rosen or Stu McDonald. By the way, I do want to take this time to send out heartfelt condolences to the McDonald family. Stu, my heart goes out to you guys. I worked with Stu for 8 years, and I knew Sheila. Absolutely terrible to hear, and our condolences from all of us here at Edmonton Sports Talk to the McDonald family. That's awful, awful news, and she was a really, really, really nice Nice lady. So from our AST family and our listeners, I'm sure feel the same way. Deepest condolences to the McDonald family. Let's go to the Wolf now. The Wolf. Oh. Does Brown stay in the lineup when Holloway and Gagne return? Probably not. Probably not. The Wolf adds, I really don't think Brown stays. I agree with you.
Yeah, the only other option you'd have, really, you're not taking out Janmark. You're not taking only it would be maybe Ernie, but
Ernie's
lately,
coming out.
Well, yeah, I guess it would.
Ernie's
Yeah, you'd have
out.
to bring out the. Yeah.
If you got those two coming back. Now, who's the first to come up? I'd still say Ernie probably is the odd man out, but
it's really just one of these.
Coin flip.
Coin flip.
I'm with
right
you.
now.
I'm with you. Cal says, YouTube Trev, Stuart Skinner's doppelganger. You were getting frustrated by this today. Why?
Oh gosh, I can't go anywhere in the city without being called Stuart Skinner. I bought a beer the other day, and so the guy was like, "Are you Stuart Skinner?" And I was like,
yes.
I was like, "Yeah, I should have
Yes,
said."
I am.
I'm gonna start saying that, but I was telling Tommy, how cool would it be if Stuart Skinner was walking down the street and someone went up to him, "Hey, is that YouTube Trev?" Wouldn't that be cool? So
Ask him if he knows who YouTube Trev is.
There's no way, but
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah. It's coming in good. We don't have the same eyes. He's 6'4". I'm like 5'11" on a good day. I don't see it, but he's got a way better stash. But I'll take it. Thank you.
Both very positive guys. Great dudes. You and Stuart Skinner. 780-218-9999. Or if you're watching on the EST YouTube channel, get into the nasty chat. The Oilers defeat the San Jose Sharks 5-0. Give the Oilers 16 wins on the season, above 500, which is nice. And it's a tough task when they take on the LA Kings in a couple of days, and then they wrap up the calendar year in Anaheim on Sunday, and then come back home on January 2nd to face the Philadelphia Flyers. They get the Sens next week as well, and then they hit the road again. Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you. No Matty Cassian, he's under the weather. No Joaquin Gage. Gager was with us on the pregame show, but he has a previous commitment to another show tonight with a friend of ours, so we will not get in and interfere with that. And then Sean Bell is also under the weather, so it's just YouTube Trev, myself, and all of us watching and listening. So we want to hear from you, your thoughts on the game. What did you like? What did you not like? Let's go into the nasty chat. VR Montenegro. Hello, VR Montenegro. Hello to Ginger as well, your lovely wife. It was nice to see her last week. Stopped by the offices. That was very, very nice. VR Montenegro says, well job, Skinner. He made some timely stops tonight. Never in doubt with the offensive dominance. Jimmy Onishi says Connor Brown couldn't score a goal even if the net was... Oh, Jimmy, I hope that's not the case. Maybe he gets one. Jimmy. Grandpa Dave says, nice way to ease back after the break. Need to ramp it up for the Kings. Grandpa Dave, I'm with you. At least it seemed like no bumps and bruises tonight. No bumps and bruises is a good thing. Double A says, time to pour myself another old-fashioned and tuck into another post-game show. Thank you, Double A. Appreciate you being with us. Dr. Gonzo says, Clouder balls dropped. Okay. Yeah, he's playing well. And Dr. Gonzo throws in a T-Biscuit coming in hot from the tennis match. You should see my backhand. Almost as smooth as my forehand. I'm kidding. I'm not good. Evil Twin says, did somebody say shut out? Penner's Pancakes. Hello, Penner's Pancakes. Says, not having to rely on the power play is sweet. Love the even strength production lately. Yes. Good point. That's good to remember as well. Zedmo says the Oilers looked ready. Jimmy's asking about Owanek. He is in a sling right now. He had successful shoulder surgery on Friday. He will be in a sling for about a month or so, and but he won't miss any time. He's not missing any work.
I was surprised to see that. So
yeah,
he's going to be on the hangout, and his shoulder's going to be hanging out with the whole crew. Yeah, I was very impressed by that. I definitely
How's he going to hold his little papers?
Yeah, and that's movers and shakers.
Yeah. Get well soon. We want you to get well.
Yeah.
to everybody, whoever's sick, whoever's recovering from a surgery. We want you to get well. Let's go back into the inbox, 780-218-9999. Hontorio Momes. Hello, Hontorio Momes says, boys, find a third-line center. McLeod and Fogue Daddy compliment Draisaitl well. How nice would Bugstad look right now? Amazing. He would be perfect. Hontorio Momes, I agree with you. I just don't think it's realistic. I would like it to be the case. I would have preferred if they were able to sign him in the offseason. They did make an offer. Clearly, it wasn't enough, term. Bucks, he had a great season last year. He was very effective for the Oilers when he came here. Seemed to really enjoy his time as an Oiler, but he went back to the desert. I don't think he's going to be moving this season.
Not at all, especially when the Coyotes are on the hunt to
I
make
know.
the playoffs, which is kind of surprising. And he's on pace for a career year right now. So
Good for him.
you're going to have to trade way more than the third and prospect they did last year to get Nick Bukestad.
He's not even on the table. Like it's
Yeah,
not even
it's
it's not even a possibility.
No, not a chance, but it would be sick.
I agree with everyone, including Hontorio Momes, when they say how good would Nick Bukestad look there. He'd look perfect. Honestly, perfect.
Yeah, literally ideal. Right
Yep.
shot as well, which
Yep.
is huge.
Takes a lot of face-offs. Big. 6'7", just a giant human being. But it's not going to happen. And I'm sorry. I don't want to be Debbie Downer. I'm just, ugh. Let's go to Atif. What's up, Wheels? Atif says, good evening, boys. Great win by the Edmonton Oilers. How many shutouts is this for Skinner versus the Sharks? 2. This calls for a 6 o'clock or lager, even though it's not 6 o'clock. I know there's 2 games left before the New Year, but happy early New Year from Atif. Atif, happy early New Year. Enjoy that 6 o'clock or lager. I was able to share a few with some family. They really liked it. Uncle Diego, big fan. Uncle Johnny, big fan. My dad, big fan. Hard to get. Unbelievable oil country. Unbelievable how that... It's a good beer. But the way it's just flying off the shelves, shout out to the Shamrock Curling Club. Gavin Morton invited me. They had an Oilers watch party tonight. Gavin and I worked together as well at the Oilers, and he was in charge of ticketing. But Gav is the one who went and got a couple of kegs of 6 o'clock or lager and has it on tap there.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's
they had a
awesome.
watch party tonight, and I'm sure that those golden crispy babies were pouring so nice.
Yeah, I really want to try it on tap. That's good.
Mm.
It's good in a can, but could you imagine?
In a frosty mug.
Oh my gosh.
Hello. Forts Ask Ryan Texan says, I'm holding out for Brown in the playoffs, and we will get him for $1 million next year. Forts Ask Ryan, that last point you made, you and I, Trev, had a conversation about this in the third period. Do you want to rekindle that one? About Connor Brown next season? Where we think, what do we think's going to happen?
Yeah, like at this rate, I honestly, he's got nothing to really show for it. It would be interesting to see what his contract would look like, but it would have to be league minimum. And
with any team.
With any team. Yeah,
the way it's going.
But it's one of those things, Tommy. And do you think it would be the case where Connor Brown, he goes kind of like we've seen with Tobias Reeder, he came to Edmonton, didn't really do anything at all, goes to the Flames next season, he puts in, a few goals. Do you think that could be the case for Connor Brown? Yeah,
yes,
100%, right? Like, there's no way that he's going goalless. Like, the down, yeah, he had just a significant surgery, but it just I don't know, something's not clicking.
Working.
And sometimes that's the case. You look at it with Oilers last year when they acquired Klim Kostin. He wasn't doing absolutely anything for the Blues.
Nope.
They get him. He has a career year. You look what he's doing right now in Detroit. He's a healthy scratch, and he's dropped
And I
significantly.
think he's hurt now too.
Yeah, so it's just sometimes it's just certain players don't work for certain teams, and it's just one of those things. You'll never really know why. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Unless some miracle happens, I doubt the Oilers.
Maybe he has a good second half. Who knows? It is possible. There is quite a bit of hockey left to be played. But yeah, as of right now, I think you just made the comment just offhand. You're like, do you think Connor Brown gets a contract next year? And I said, yeah, probably. Someone gives him a chance. He's better than what he's shown. He's a better player historically. His body of work, he's been fairly consistent. This year, it just ain't happening for whatever reason, whether it was injury, confidence, getting hurt again mid-season, healthy scratch. It's not happening. But maybe he strings together a few goals and gets some more points in the second half and has a little bit of confidence going into the stretch drive and postseason. And maybe he can be, I throw the name Michael Peck out there all the time, but it's looking less and less likely, but you never know. But he's certainly better than the player that we've watched in orange and blue this year. Historically, he's generally better, obviously. 780-218-9999. You're going to love this one from Alex. Hey, boys, watching from Canmore. YouTube Trev looks like Skinner.
Haven't heard that before. Just joking. I like it.
It's a compliment, pal. It's a compliment. Duck Dad says, bring in Dusty. He is sleeping in Davos like an angel because he has about 3 more games to call tomorrow. What else do we have here in the nasty chat? Taylor from Indiana. How about some rolls of tape and some brewskis, and they can take Campbell off our hands? Is that a conversation between Taylor? Yeah. Oh, I see. I see. I'm just getting in on a conversation. That's the beauty of the nasty chat. Get in on the nasty chat, 780-218-9999. Snap that thumbs up button if you can, please and thank you. As YouTube Trev and I get you through the night. 5-0, the Oilers beat the San Jose Sharks. What's up? You gave me one of those.
Oh, I was just like, let's go.
Oh,
yeah,
let's
leave
go.
a like.
Yeah.
Leave a like, 100%.
All right. I appreciate that. It's a quiet night out there. People are happy with the win, but we want to hear from you as we roll along. Any audio or video to get to yet?
None thus far.
None thus far. We'll get to it if we can. Usually getting out of San Jose, it's pretty quick because San Jose has a curfew at their airport. You have to be wheels up by 11:30, otherwise you have to pay a fine. No joke. Like, seriously. So there were times we would have to drive to Oakland and fly out of their airport. It was like 45 minutes away.
That's a first.
Is
there any other teams that did that?
That's the only airport I know about. I think it's the only one in the NHL where there's a curfew like that. And it has to do with how close the airport is to a lot of residential.
Oh, okay. So
they don't like the noise.
So it's like once, like no planes are flying in there either.
Nothing's coming in, nothing's going out after 11:30.
Crazy.
So you get like rerouted or teams or travel companies don't fly out, like
crazy.
They go to Oakland instead. Or
is it close at least?
Oakland's like 40 minutes away.
Okay.
San Fran is a little bit longer because there's the 3 cities kind of in the loop there, in the bay.
Crazy. So they'll definitely be well.
The thing was, especially like today was a 7:30 start. Yes. You're supposed to be wheels up. That's the rule of thumb. 4 hours after puck drop, I think it was.
Okay, so they're probably not making it. Are they?
No.
No, they're not making it.
They're probably flying out of Oakland. I could be wrong, though. But usually you'd have to hustle to get all the audio visual up and to be consumed for the fan base. Shanzi says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, boys. Happy y'all are back. Brown will find himself on the outside looking in when 89 and 55 are healthy. Waivers. Book it from Shanzi. Buzz in Nebraska, all the way from Nebraska. 6 a.m. in Switzerland. Crack it a teeth. I love that. Buzz in Nebraska. Thank you for the text. Fort Sask Mike says, good to see the boys win. Another night of cardio from Connor Brown. We looked at the schedule. If the Oils sneaked into the playoffs for a wild card, would you rather go through the Pacific or Central wild card? Mark from the Park, Josh from K-Town, and Fort Sask Mike. Oh, boy. So a whole crew out there. Winnipeg's playing really good right now. Dallas is a good team, but I think they're beatable. Colorado, I'm not sure. Like, the doubt that the Seattle Kraken, I think, instilled in everyone when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche after last year's playoffs, I think that's real. The Avs have a great team. They have some great players. Do they have the goaltending? I don't know. They've got injuries. What's the situation with Landeskog? Right? They've been banged up. They've been making some moves. So this was something that popped up about a week or two ago where we said, do you think the Central might be the spot to go through? Yes. You let the Kings and the Golden Knights beat the crap out of each other. Who knows what the Canucks are going to be in the playoffs? Scrappy, I would assume. Maybe the Central's the right route. The bottom line is, though, you're playing against some damn good teams. So you better be on your A game. But I to the crew, Mark from the Park, Josh from K-Town, and Fort Sask Mike, I think the Central might be the slightly easier route, but not by much. Not by much. YouTube Trev, I know you're getting some audio there. Do you want to take a crack at that one, or do you want to keep cracking away at that?
Yeah. So I definitely think, no, you're right. Like, as far as the rivalry goes, and even if the Oilers were to play, against the Kings, I don't really like that matchup. I have a hard time believing that they beat them 3 times in a row. I just
you never
don't
know. Edmonton beat...
Those are crazy odds, though. And, the Kings are way better this year.
Edmonton beat Winnipeg almost every year. I don't want to make 80s references.
I guess.
Good point.
That's fair. That's fair. But as far I love the idea of just having, the Pacific just hash it out. It'll be a war, whatever team.
Be.
Yeah, it will be. And redemption tour for the Oilers and the Canucks, that would be really cool. I've never seen the Oilers and Canucks in my whole life in the playoffs, so I'd like to.
1991 last time they played in the playoffs.
Something like that. So that would be cool to see. Yeah. I'd like that. But you're right. There is no easy team at all. Ideally, if they could be first in the Pacific right now playing the Coyotes or something like that, that would be ideal. But there's no way that's going to happen. So
I don't think so. I can't believe Nashville and Arizona are in the wild card spots right now.
It is really impressive. So to go through the Central is what I'd prefer personally.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 780-218-9999. Excuse me.
God bless you, Tommy.
Thank you, buddy. The Oilers 5-0 winners over the Sharks. One of 4 games on the schedule tonight. Carolina defeats Montreal 5-3. Philly beats Vancouver 4-1 in Vancouver. The Golden Knights get the better of those LA Kings, 2 teams we talked about. Like the boys were texting in about there, asking where would it be easier to go through, Central Division teams or Pacific Division teams in the playoffs. 2 pretty strong teams in the Pacific. The Golden Knights and the Kings went toe-to-toe tonight, and it was Vegas with the 3-2 win. Keep in mind the Kings did play last night against the Sharks. That was a 5-1 Kings win in L.A., but the Golden Knights get that one, and then the Oil with the 5-0 victory. And then, just looking at the Western Conference standings, you still have Arizona and Nashville holding down the wild card spots at 38 points apiece. Edmonton now up to 33 points. They have 3 games in hand on Nashville and 2 games in hand on Arizona. 5 points back of both of those teams. All right, we have some audio now.
Just the one. We got Darnell Nurse at the moment.
You want to go to that?
Let's do it up.
All right, let's do it.
Here is Darnell Nurse after the 5-0 win.
Get a big 5-0 shutout and quality win, and you guys are above 500 right now. How do you feel about the team's progress at this moment?
Yeah, I think it was big for us to come out of the gate after a break and get a big win. Obviously, I thought we came out of the first period, played really well, and then Stu made some huge saves down the stretch for us to keep the game where it was at. So it was a good first win for us.
What do you think is going so well in your team's game right now, especially coming off those bounce-back efforts last week?
Yeah, just sticking to our game. I think when you look back at those 2 games that we won in New York, we kind of just stuck to our game for a full 60 minutes. I thought we probably could have done a better job of that on the defensive side tonight, but with all that said, I thought we locked it down as much as we needed to an extent, and Stu made some huge saves, like I said.
Did you have the last visit here at the Shark Tank at the back of your mind as you kind of prepared for this hockey game, and is that the reason why you guys started off so hot?
Yeah, I think obviously anytime that you come in here and you lose, and it's a divisional game, and obviously a big trip for us coming off the break. All those things kind of go and play a factor in the mindset going into the game. I thought that really contributed to our start.
You can almost kind of consider that game back in November as a low point in this season. What about the progression you guys have made since as a team?
Yeah, I think obviously when you look back after that game, the energy and whatnot of the guys was not at its highest point. And I think looking at now and where we've clawed our way to, I think it's been a great step and shows the resilience of our group. And but at the end of the day, you look at the standings and where we are, and we still got a lot of work to do.
Open-ended question, but where does resilience begin with the group? Does it begin with the coaches? Does it begin with the leadership group? Does it begin with management? Where does that start?
I think it just boils down to the group in here. I think it's not something that you build in one season. I think there's a lot of guys in here that have been around for the last 3-4 years, and this isn't the first time we've been in a hole or found ourselves in a position that we weren't happy with and found a way to work our way to the game that we wanted to play. And I think that's you don't want to put yourself in situations where you have to lean on that every year, but it seems for us as a group, when we get to that point, we don't quit and we believe in ourselves.
Just how big was scoring those 4 goals in the first period to come out and really step on their throats?
Yeah, I mean it starts really it puts some momentum in our favor, and it starts the game with a lot of people feeling confidence out there on the ice, and I think that's a big start. Whenever you're having a big start, especially coming off a break, because it's easy to wade yourself into the game and not get on to the start that you want. But for us to be able to come out here and put up 4 in the first period, I think it really set the tone for the rest of the game.
So how gratifying is it to get an impressive win like this without McDavid scoring a goal?
Oh, I don't think we really look at it like that. No, we just look at it as wins and losses. I mean, we have some incredible players. I mean, you just mentioned one, and he scores more nights than not. So, it's all about the team game in here, especially at this time of the year.
There's Darnell Nurse, couple assists on the night, +2 penalty minutes, 2 shots on net, played 19:38. A lot of the minutes being spread around tonight, so just a good, solid win for the Oilers, and Nurse in a good mood after the 5-0 victory. I want to read a couple of texts before we get to our next bit of audio. Okay. This text from Cards says, fellas, Greer sure has his work cut out for him in the next few years. How long is the leash? Cards, this is year number 2 for Mike Greer at the helm of the Sharks, and he stripped this thing down to the studs, and it's painful. I think he has some leash. I really do, because and then Curtis Pashelka, who was on the pregame show from the Bay Area News Group, was saying that there is an understanding that this thing is being torn right down. It's not a quick one season and they're back in the mix type of thing. He's got his fingerprints all over this, and he's going to have to be the one that molds it back up into a team that can be competitive. But right now, it's definitely not there. And I think Curtis also pointed out that they have over 10 UFAs next year, so you're going to see a lot of movement in the offseason from Mike Greer. And then Cards also adds in, Tommy, I was rocking a Rafi Torres tarp at Cook County after the Florida game, and just when I thought I had tarp of the night, I ran into a guy rocking a Brad Isbister away jersey. Absurd from Cards. Oh my goodness, a Brad Isbister.
Who's that?
Do you remember
Brad
Brad
Isbister? That's a new one. No, that's a new one.
Brad Isbister was traded for, who did they get him for? I feel like he was in the Eric Brewer trade, maybe for Yanni Nienema.
So that's like 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s, or maybe Roman Hammerlick was the trade. Anyway, Brad Isbister was like a big body, right shot guy, could fight a little bit, could score, but never was able to put it together. And like there was a little bit of hype around him, like a Chad Kilger kind of thing. And it didn't work out. They ended up trading him away. If anybody can remember off the top of their head who Isbister got traded for, how he wound up in Edmonton, and then how he got sent out, I think the Oilers came out okay on both sides of those deals. I think they had to get rid of a defenseman. I feel like it was Roman Hammerlick, and then that's who they got. They got a package back. I think Josh Green was in the mix of one of those deals as well. And then a couple years later, they had to trade Isbister, and I think the return was half decent, if I'm not mistaken. I almost want to. Yeah, I can't remember. Mike York.
He was traded to the Edmonton Oilers with Raffi Torres.
Yeah.
For Yanni Niinema.
Okay.
And a second-round draft pick.
And then from the Oilers to who?
And then give me a sec.
You clicked out of it, didn't you?
No, I just looked up the Oilers trade.
Okay.
So 1 sec.
That is a blast from the past, Cards. And for two guys to be wearing a Torres and Isbister jersey on the same night, the same bar, is wild. Russian Spa Guy texts in, says, boys, any idea what the weird crowd noise and random cheering was? Definitely heard it, and people mentioning it online as well. I said that to Trev, too. I'm like, what's going on? And it looked like it was a pretty decent crowd tonight. I don't know where that, unless they were having weird promotions and giveaways like during the game, which they're not supposed to. I don't know if they're piping it in or what, but that was odd, really odd, and I don't know why it was there unless they had people just in their own section starting cheers and everybody got on board with it because of how bad the game was going, which is possible. San Jose, it's a good hockey market. They were spoiled for 2 decades with some great teams, never went over the hump, made it to a cup final, obviously lost to Pittsburgh, but it's a good hockey. They love the Sharks there, and maybe they were just bored because they knew the game was over. Like, they're not dumb or anything like that. So I'm not sure, but I heard it too, Russian Spa Guy. What do you got? Do you got the trade? I saw someone text in.
Yeah, so he was traded, and after that he was traded to the Bruins for a 4th-round draft pick.
Oh, so they just got rid of him.
It's nothing crazy.
Okay,
yeah.
So he was in the Niinema deal, came along with Raffi Torres. I thought that was a good trade. So there was some hype there. Torres worked out for a bit. Isbister played a little. And, yeah. There's some Oilers hockey.
And that's that. Yeah, no,
that's history.
Never knew that player, so yeah, that's good to know.
Okay, keep it going in the nasty chat. We have about 10 more minutes here. We do have the player of the game coming up, but we do have some more audio and video to get to. YouTube Trev, it's your doppelganger.
I was going to say, next up is YouTube Trev. Here he is.
NHL shutout. Does that ever get old hearing that?
Hopefully it will one day. So when I hear 5, hopefully. So yeah, it was a good game. Felt good in there. I think San Jose had I thought they were really good in the offensive zone. I think we also did a great job, being able to get some blocks in, and PK was huge again.
As a netminder, we always talk about how a big save can kind of feel everybody else's confidence, but when you see your team start the way it did this hockey game, how much confidence does that breed in you?
Yeah, it was huge. Gave me a lot of confidence. It's always nice kind of getting that early lead. Yeah, I think we were rolling around for a good 5 minutes straight in their end, and that's a huge credit to the guys being ready off the bat. It can be hard, especially coming off Christmas break.
What can you say about that second line right now with Ryan McLeod, Warren Foegele, and Leon Draisaitl?
Yeah, they're feeling it right now. They're buzzing. They're moving around, making some good plays, getting shots off, getting to the net hard. So it's all well-earned goals.
All right, to use a baseball metaphor, what are you going through with this shutout during the intermissions? What are you thinking about, and is it on your mind about you have a shutout?
It's probably on your mind the last 5 minutes of the game, and even then you try to get it out of your head as quickly as possible. But yeah, you're always kind of thinking about how the game's going and kind of where things are at. But yeah, it's my job to stop the puck, and that's my main focus.
Approaching this hockey game, how much does your last visit here in San Jose kind of weigh on your mind as you prepared for this one?
Yeah, I mean, you knew they were going to come out hard. They also had a game yesterday, so they obviously they were able to get a couple things out of the way early on, right after the Christmas break. So you knew these guys know how to score goals. I mean, you see it. I mean, you can see that they lose games every once in a while, but for the most part, they're always getting their goals. So really good team. It's the NHL. Every team's good. Every team knows how to score. Every player knows how to make plays. So it's always important to be ready.
From losing that game in early November to where your team is at now, winning 3 straight hockey games, how do you describe the growth, Stuart?
Yeah, it's been big. I think it's a lot of resiliency from our group. I think you can see that, there's highs and lows in a season, and I think we're doing a really good job at, trying to stay even keel and just work our way up. We know the position that we're in the standings, so also know our goal, just like every other team in the league. So it's going to be important for us to keep going here.
Stuart Skinner picking up his second shutout of the season, 4th of his career, and just way too nice to the San Jose Sharks, talking about them, saying, hey, they know how to score too. Well, I guess they do have the least amount of goals in the league at 74. Somehow Washington isn't that far ahead of them. Guess how many goals the Caps have this year?
Wait, what did you say San Jose has?
74.
74 goals. I think Washington has 86.
They have 78 goals this year.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
I know, and they're in the wild card mix. Chicago has 82, and then everybody else is in the 90s basically, or above 100. Edmonton, if you're wondering. Goals for this year, 113. Goals against, 106. San Jose, it's 7th straight loss. The Oilers, it's their third straight victory, and improving to 16, 15, and 1. All right, we have Chris Knoblauch ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Chris Knoblauch.
A few days, have a holiday break, but then it's back to business. And with the goal in the first minute and the way you played tonight, did you feel like you kind of got back to the level you wanted to see?
Yeah, no, I think the guys are very focused, ready to play. Obviously the break is nice and everyone enjoyed it, but obviously they know there's work to be done, and San Jose has been playing their best, but I think we weren't taking anything for granted, and we came ready to play.
Chris, one word we hear repeatedly to describe this team is resilient. Whether it's the players, whether it's you, whether it's the fans. Where does resilience begin?
Well, I think you look at the adversity, and there's always throughout the year, whether it's injuries or travel or difficult opponents, whatever. But I like how we've stuck with our game plan, and especially in games, it's easy to stick with the game plan when it's you're winning, you're having success. But I think with especially saw it in the road trip against New Jersey and the New York game, where we stuck with our game plan and played the right way and not cheating. And often when you're falling behind, you take extra chances. You just forget about the defensive details, and I think we've been sticking with it, and we're winning more times than not.
When you look at the evening, or if someone looks just kind of at the numbers, the final score, shots on goal, you may not think that your goalie played as well as he did, but how good was Stuart tonight in making sure that not only San Jose didn't score, but didn't mount any kind of a comeback?
Yeah, no, often you look at the score sheet, and I'm not sure what the total shots against were, but you could look at it, it's 5-0, it was probably an easy game. That was not the case. He came up huge with some really good saves. We gave up a lot of shot attempts from the slot, more than we have probably in the last dozen games. I thought he obviously played really well, not letting anything go in. And I think it's so easy to say that it was easy, but it certainly wasn't.
What kind of a tone and standard does Zach Hyman set for this club?
I think composed, plays the right way. It's good on the walls. Defensive details are good, and obviously playing with two skilled guys, but finding ways to score goals, and that's just not an easy thing to do. He goes hard to the nets, and that line spends a lot of time in the offensive zone just with the possession that they have. But when you need somebody going to the net, and he does a good job, and you saw his goal just being available, getting a nice touch on the puck. There's a lot of things I like about his game.
So, Coach, since you took over, are you guys at the status that you think you should be, one game above 500 at this point?
No, I think we've got a lot of things to work on. We are getting better, and if we're not getting better each day, teams are going to be passing us, and we're not in a position to do that. We need to be getting better because we have to. We've got a lot of teams to pass if we're going to make playoffs, and so I like where we're going, but there's still a lot of work to do.
All right, there's Chris Knoblauch improving to 13-6 as head coach of the Oilers. Edmonton 14-6 in its last 20 games. If you want to get a text in before we wrap up, 780-218-9999, as well as the nasty chat. I've got a few queued up that I want to get to, but first we need to do some business, and that is the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram page at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. YouTube Trev, all you, buddy.
Okay, there's a few honorable mentions I'd like to rattle off. First, obviously, McLeod, three straight multi-point games. That's
Just
awesome.
pick someone.
Okay, yeah, I'll just pick. Okay, I'll get right to it. You guys were talking about him all night. So you said I look like him, and he happens to be the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. Stuart Skinner, he was lights out. Actually, perfect tonight with the shutout. And every time you get a shutout, you're definitely gonna get the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. Sound saves, timely saves, some really good saves he made tonight against a team that's not that good, but still there were some good saves. So Stuart Skinner, buddy, we both went to the same high school, Winston Churchill. Let's go. You're the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. Atta be, buddy.
I love it. All right, let's get to some text. Well done, YouTube Trev. This text, I love this one. Like going down the Oilers rabbit hole of trades. Going back to the Brad Isbister deal, says that 4th-round pick the Oilers got for Isbister turned into Jan Stasny. I remember Jan Stasny, older brother of Paul Stasny, who later got traded in a package for Sergei Samsonov for the Oilers Cup run, where they fell in Game 7 to the Hurricanes. Excellent text. Thank you for sending that in. I love it. Taco Texan says, that start was killer. The first shift was nasty. I love every second. Taco, I love that text. And it was a nasty first shift, and it led to a goal. All right, let's go to James in the nasty chat. Said Brown needs a McLeod moment like we're seeing now where he breaks out. Momentum is a bizarre phenomenon. I wish he could just catch one good break and get a good game in. James, I'm with you. I like that point you made, and I appreciate that text. Had to read it. Zedmo says, is Eric Comrie an improvement over Pickard? Yeah, probably. Can they get him? I don't know. Drew Breezy, I like this one. Drew Breezy, 619. First-time listener/watcher. Buddy told me about you guys and love the content. Solid win for the boys, and hopefully they can keep it rolling. Saturday should be a hell of a game. Go Oilers, go. From Drew Breezy, 619. Welcome to the nasty. All right, I like that. The word of mouth is spreading.
It's pretty cool.
That's right. Good. Edmonton's best sports station. That's all.
Easily the best sports station.
There we go. James says, if the Oilers get the maturity needed to go far in the playoffs, it shouldn't matter what division champ they face. You know what, James? That's a good point, and that's the type of attitude I like, where you feel good about your game. You don't care who you're playing because you're going at them smash mouth, giving them all you got. If you got the confidence, you got the depth, goaltending, you can win. I like that mentality. I really do. Taylor from Indiana, YouTube Trev and Tommy, thoughts on Boone Jenner? Sean Bell I would include in this because Bellsy's been talking about it since the summer. Go get Boone Jenner. Go get Boone Jenner. I like Boone Jenner. I don't know how you're going to get him out of Columbus, though. I don't think it happens. But I really like him, Taylor from Indiana. YouTube Trev?
Yeah, he's an absolute stud. I'm just trying to pull up his stats. I don't know if he brings offense like he did in previous years.
But can he be a solid third-line center?
And exactly. That's kind of what you need him for, right? He's not going to, when you got Connor and Leon chipping away, which they obviously always do, you don't need Boone Jenner to be racking up the points if he could be. But I also think the only thing I'm pretty sure he's a lefty, and ideally for a center, I'd like the
in
right.
A perfect world, right?
Yeah, but he's a solid player. Obviously, that would be amazing, but I don't think it will happen, unfortunately.
Never say never. I don't think it happens, though. Surveyor Brett, Tommy Gazzola, what up? And Trev, too. How did Stu Skins get back to Edmonton so quick post-game? And surveyor Brett also throws in you don't know Brad Isbister? How dare you, Trevor? Sam says Brown scores against LA or gets eclipsed by Holloway's return. What is his cap hit if he plays in the A? I'd have to go to Cap Friendly, I think, and look up all of that. But I don't know what the effect is. Because his salary is basically like barely over league minimum, or it's like $1 million.
Yeah.
And then
that one's a little bit different.
It's less than $1 million, but the bonus that he gets guaranteed next year after playing 10 games kicks in and goes on to next year's cap at 3.225,
3 something.
I think it is. So I don't know if there's a lot of savings there. I'd have to double check it. The Capology world is one that I have to always reference, Cap Friendly or Puckpedia. Surveyor Brett also says, I've never seen Stu and YouTube Trev in the same room, so it is not confirmed they aren't the same person. You were great in net tonight. Nice 25 save performance.
Thank you very much.
And then good night nasties from Brett. Brett, good night to you. Tango says, great job, YouTube Trev. See you Saturday. James says, Jenner and Kane would make the basis for a great third line come playoffs. Isbister was better than Joe Hulbig. You have no idea who Joe Hulbig was, right? I think he was a first-round bust from the mid-90s. He played a little bit. It was never really... Big guy, I think American, college guy, if I can remember correctly off the top of my head. Great obscure Oiler reference, James. Well done. Well done. This one, okay, two texts to wrap things up. We got to say goodnight. This says, who won Christmas draft? Bronx the Boilermaker. I know who, but want to hear from Tom. Bronx the Boilermaker, I won. I'm back, baby. And I think it was a convincing win, too. And I didn't overthink it. I put together strategy, and we had some fun. I thought Quinn Phillips was great as first-time commissioner in her first draft, and I think the boys had some missteps, and I think I put together a solid draft. So Bronx the Boilermaker, that was me who won. It was a lot of fun, and I feel like I've atoned for those terrible first two Edmonton Sports Talk drafts that we had. Last text goes to Justin, says, Tommy White looks good. Happy holidays, boys. Justin, happy holidays to you. Any last words from you, YouTube Trev?
No. I just want to say thank you for all the nice, kind words and the nasty chat tonight. My nerves actually they tapered off.
You did great.
From the very get-go. So it's nice. It's still coming along. I strive to be better every day. And I feel like I'm getting there. I'm learning from a pretty cool dude over there. So thank you, Tommy. And had a lot of fun with this. So yeah, we will definitely see you on Saturday, and it should be a good game. I'm gonna be.
This is it.
This is it. This is a big one.
Right, two teams going head to head here.
It was a little bit of a snooze fest in the third period for this game. I don't expect that to be the same. They're gonna bring it. It's always a battle. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and you should too. And so thanks for everyone. If you guys crushed it tonight, really appreciate it.
Yeah, Taylor from Indiana says YouTube Trev should always be on camera. I agree.
That's so nice.
I love that. I love that so much. All right, the Oilers win at 5-0. Over the San Jose Sharks, give the Oil 3 straight wins. The Sharks 7 straight losses. Edmonton now goes to LA to face the Kings, a rematch of last year's playoff series. Of course, the Oilers winning that one 2 straight years. They've eliminated the Kings. Yes, the Kings want to get back at the Oilers. Yada, yada, yada. Kings lost to Vegas tonight, 3-2. So we're in for a doozy on Saturday. That game goes at 8 o'clock, not 8:30, thankfully. We will be on the air with the Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30. All right, that's going to do it for the postgame show. Huge thank you to everyone who tuned in, texted in, watched. We appreciate you as always. Happy holidays if we don't catch you this weekend. Be well. Ciao for now. We'll see you on Saturday.